Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in. Now, I'm a little late today on my Sunday sermon. My son had a soccer game this morning, so normally the time that I would be shooting my Sunday sermon, I had to go to a soccer game. But I wanted to pop in today. I had to block me somebody today, and one thing I'm big on is protecting my energy. I'm always big on protecting my energy, and you always have, the adversary gonna always send people in your life to derail you. You could be working towards something in your life, and somebody will come and they'll share their fears and they'll share their doubts, and they'll question you and say, do you really want to do that? Do you really think you can achieve that? Do you really think you can make that happen? And it's really because they doubt themselves. They fear for themselves. And a lot of times the stuff that God gives you, other people won't understand. I have a quote that says, you can't expect people to see your vision because God has given you different lenses. And so every now and then I'm always taking inventory. I'm taking inventory to see, who is happy for you, who wants to see you win. So it's a good thing when you can watch somebody that you grew up with, or somebody or somebody you watch online, and you see them progress. You see them go from little to much, and be faithful over it all. And the other thing is that we always have to realize that, especially when you working for God, you working with God, when your life is a testament, a testimony, what you have to realize is that so many people want to see your pain. So many people want to see you struggle. I always talk about, we have levels of support in life, to where when it looks like you're not going to do nothing, you're not going to be nothing, when you look like you on the struggle bus. What a lot of people didn't realize about me until here recently is that I had made $1 million by the age of 30. I was already in that range early in my life, but I'm not the showy type of person. I could have big old diamond, big chains and all of this stuff. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see where you won't see me sitting on the hood of my car. And it's just not something that I do. So I'm not braggadocious. I'm not a show off. But one thing that I don't believe we should do is hide the blessings of God, because it's hide the peace and the prosperity. And that's one thing that I want to share with those who can understand where I'm coming from. Everybody not going to understand this, but you go and you serve God and you live right to the best of your ability. You live a righteous lifestyle, and you praying for more in life. You tired of riding the struggle bus. You tired of going up the rough side of the mountain, and you like, Lord, I'm trying to be a witness for you. I want people to understand about your peace and your blessings, and just what that love feels like to walk with you. But how can I be a witness for you if I'm always downtrodden? If I'm always sad and depressed? If I'm always in lack and in scarcity? Who wants to serve a God if that God is a God of poverty, if that God is a God of brokenness, if that God is a God of, scarcity? And so that's not what God does. And when you read the Bible, when you look at the life of Job, he went through a whole lot, but Job was wealthy. Job was filthy rich, as what the term we'll call it today. He was wealthy, righteously rich, and then went through, lost it all. But then on the other side, he was given double of what he had. So God didn't say, because you my faithful servant, I'm gonna let you have less cattle than everybody else in the city, in the town. I'm gonna let you have a smaller home than everybody else. No, God gave them double. And so I want you to understand, when your sacrifice puts you in a position where God can open up the windows of heaven and pour out on your life and bless you with the promotion on your job, bless you with your own business, give you the wisdom and the clarity to write your book, to start your company, to lose the weight you've been trying to lose, give you the confidence and the strength and the courage to get that degree that you've been working on, or that certification that you've been wanting. When God gives you the peace and the strength and the courage and the humility to pursue that which he has promised you, don't be afraid to be amazing, and don't be ashamed to share your story. And one thing you got to realize is, the people who get offended by your blessings, the people who want you to hide your blessings and hide your testimony, those people never wanted to see you win anyways. Those people were selfish, and they only came to get what you could do for them, but they didn't want to see you progress. They didn't want to see you grow. So those are people that you get far from, because those people you can't even trust. Those people will be stealing from you. Those people will be kikiing in your face and lying and talking bad about you behind your back. The people that, when you got to check, when you got to tell them about themselves, they cut you off, they block you, they ain't never, but they've been there all this time. And the one time you say no, or the one time you have to get with them and get them in line, now they want to cut you off, and you the worst person to ever live. That person always disliked you. That person, they were waiting for an excuse. They were waiting for you to give them what sound like a good reason to cut you off, because your grace, your favor, your peace, your poise has always offended their insecurities. Your confidence, when you was broke, when you were struggling, when you went through that divorce, when you put on that weight, when you lost that job, when you lost your mother or your father, when things going wrong for you in your life, they on your phone every day. They on your phone every day, and they trying to, they tricked you and made you think they was a good friend, because when you were miserable, they wanted to be right up under you. But when the tables turn, when life started to change for you, and the promises that God had given you started to come to fruition, now they get an attitude. Now they get a little distant. See, because now they ain't got nothing to talk about. See, they used to could talk about you and say, yeah, she really, or he really going through. It's everything going bad. And your misery was their company. Your misery made them feel better about their life. But then when you get a little something, when you get that house, when you get that car, and when you get that job, or you start that business, or you birth that book, whatever it may be, you lose that weight, whatever it may be, now they like, you think you all that. I remember a quote that said, every joke is 50% truth. You think you all that, don't you? Saying it like they being sarcastic, but they halfway really mean it. Not, and what you got to say, no, I don't think I'm all that. Do you think I'm all that? Obviously so, because you putting words in my mouth. I never said I was all that. I know I'm blessed and highly favored, but I didn't say I was all that. I never treated you any different, never treated you any less than. But you don't expect me to park down the street and get out of my brand new Toyota Camry or whatever it may be that God done blessed me with to walk up here like I had to walk to work. Don't expect me to pour some water on the side of my face to look like I'm sweating from walking to work when God done blessed me with a vehicle or a year bus pass from when I used to be walking. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times, and that's the one thing, is that we want to look so downtrodden. We want to look so broke, busted, and disgusted because we don't want to offend anybody. We want to live within limits. When the Bible say, when you come into the knowledge of the Lord, you receive a strong confidence. The knowledge of the Lord brings about a strong confidence. So that strong confidence makes you go beyond the limits that other people have placed on you. But we'll take and downplay ourselves, and we'll live beneath our means to make other people feel comfortable. But see, now one thing is look, shine as bright as the Lord has allowed you to shine. But make sure everybody know that to God be the glory. That you wouldn't be here without God. So yeah, you're going to hear me mention blessings from God. But don't confuse my testimony with me bragging. But the way God bless is that when you share your testimony, an insecure person gonna call it bragging, because they don't understand what a testimony is, because they ain't had theirs yet, because they too busy hating on you getting yours. They too busy being jealous of God showing up and showing out in your life, that they're not going to experience a testimony, because they don't understand they're blocking their own blessings by being jealous of you getting to the next level in your life, birthing something in your life. When you're in that terrible relationship, when that relationship looking like who shot John and forgot to kill him, they all in your business. They want to be on the phone. So how are things going today? How's everything today? That is just, oh my goodness. Let's pray right now. They all in your business when you crying and you down, but when stuff start to turn around for you and you find a peace and you get happy, now it's like your happiness make them sad, because now you don't depend on them. You don't got to depend on them anymore, because now you can lean on God. Now you know who God is. Now you got the strength of God, and now they start to feel worse because they want to be your God. Because now your misery gave them meaning. Your misery gave them meaning in their life, because the only way they feel good about themselves is if you doing worse than they are. And so when you recognize that, listen, you can't feel bad about it. You can't feel bad about it. You got to keep on living. You got to keep on pressing. So listen, now, I ain't gonna bring you inside of everything and just to show, but I ain't gonna hide it either. And you know, you'll see people that they gonna have stuff to say to you, and then my sister said this to me. She said, I seen this online. You know, everybody saying my biggest flex is this, my biggest flex is that. I saw one say my biggest flex is that I don't have to be in and pretend I'm something I'm not. My sister said she saw one say my biggest flex is that I could flex more. I say, wow. Now look at that. And that's what you got to let folks know. It's like, listen, yes, at some point you're going to see olive oil dripping off of me. But understand, if I took you to the source, and if this right here, a little bit that you know offends you, if I told you everything about the peace, the grace, the favor, the mercy, you'll throw up on yourself. If you get offended by seeing a little teensy weensy bit of the glow up, the blessings, the progression, the growth, you will absolutely lose your mind if I had to walk you through everything. And that's what you got to tell them. That's what you got to tell them. That's what you got to let them know. And see, the good thing about this now, what I want you to realize is a lot of my message is inspired. Well, all my message is inspired by real life. So one thing I want you to understand is, whenever I bring you a message, that's when you hear an on-time word, that's why it's on time, because it comes from real life. So don't ever feel like when you hear me talking about something, and I use myself as an example, that's just me letting you know that I'm not talking at you. I'm talking with you. I'm human just like you. I experience what you experience. But don't ever feel like, oh, Tony, ignore the haters. Oh, Tony, don't let people get you down. Listen, ain't nobody get me down. They can't get me down because I serve God. But when I speak on something that I have experienced, I want you to know that if you haven't experienced, you're getting ready to. And when you get ready to, now you got a blueprint on how to deal with it, because I done shared with you what I done went through. So that's our job in the kingdom, to confess one to another, to strengthen one to another, to uplift one to another. Don't hide your pain. Don't hide your pain report, but also don't hide your praise report. Don't be secretive about the test, but don't be secretive about the testimony either. You see what I mean? Because God gets his glory through your story. So if you go and you parade around with all your misery and your pain to get some sympathy, but then you get blessed and you hide that because you're afraid you're going to offend somebody, then God don't get no glory from your story. Now it's just you. Now you being self-righteous and self-serving because you got all this sympathy and got you a GoFundMe for being downtrodden, but then God didn't get the praise, or didn't get lifted up by how he showed up and showed out in your life. So that's what you got to understand. That's what you have to understand. And listen to me. Don't get, especially on my page, don't get comfortable. Because if you don't want to see somebody change for the better, if you don't want to see somebody grow, if you don't want to see somebody go to the next level, then you there for the wrong reasons. So if you on my page, you got to understand, my life, God always gonna take me higher every year. Every year, it's gonna get bigger and better, because that's the promises of his word. So just because you see me one place today, don't mean I'm gonna be there tomorrow. Just because I'm at one rate today, don't mean I'm gonna be there next year. So don't get comfortable with where somebody at when you know God working in their life, because what would that say about God if a person ain't elevating? If you don't see somebody go from an apartment that they renting to a house that they renting, or from a house that they renting and their goal is to own to a house that they own, then that's a problem. If they professing the name of the Lord and they living right and doing right, because where God is, you're going to see the results. So don't ever get used to or get comfortable with a child of God being stagnant. See, that's an oxymoron. A child of God is not going to be stagnant. It's not going to be complacent. It's going to get bigger and better. It's going to be brighter. It's going to be next level. So what you got to understand is, when you go and you really read the Bible, you're going to see that when God started to move in people's life, they went from living with somebody else or being sold to slavery or going through to having land, to having cattle, to having sheep, and then getting more and more and more. When you read the Old Testament and you read about the stories of God's servants, what they had in the Bible will be the equivalent of being a multi-millionaire today. When you understand inflation, understand money, if you have what they had in the Bible, if you had that today, you're a millionaire with the land that God gave his children, with the cattle and the sheep and the goats and the donkeys. With what God gave his servants, his children, will make some of the people in the Bible will be a trillionaire today. You see what I'm saying? So don't ever get comfortable. And it ain't just about material and money. God gave Sarah a child at 95. Now, you eat processed food, so Sarah 95 might be your 45. Okay, don't get too happy now, because you eat processed food. So understand this. God's still on the throne. Miracles still being performed. I'm watching miracles happen. I'm watching miracles happen with my very eyes. And God gonna meet you where you need him. See, so for one person, it might be a miracle in their body because there's a sickness in their body. In another person, it may be a miracle in their marriage. For another person, it may be a miracle on their job. For another person, it may be a miracle in their business, in their finances. See, so understand this. Don't think that just because somebody go from a hoopty to a Bentley, that Christianity is about materialism. No, that's where they were elevated at because everything else was taken care of. So one person could go from sick to healthy. They didn't need a new car. They didn't need to elevate in their car or in their house. They needed healing in their body. But somebody else might be healed and healthy in their body. So God gonna bless you where you have room to grow. God gonna meet your need, but not just your need. The Bible say God will give you the desires of your heart. So there's so many people that want Christians to be struggling. You ain't reading the Bible. Because ain't nowhere that God promise you ongoing misery and struggles. And the times that God was talking about where you're going to struggle and it's going to be hard, really, when you look at the context, a lot of times Christianity was banned in that area. So what God was saying when he said, forsake not the fellowship, we can't barely fellowship right now because of this here pandemic. But when God was talking in the Bible, sometimes you have to look at the context and say, look, there was no real Christians. Everybody need to come together. Everybody need to bring everything to the storehouse. Everybody got to stick together. Hey, you got to be a tribe because we're getting beheaded out here for being Christians. So you have to understand context as well when you're reading the message. But it still are principles that although you are in a different day and time, the word still stands true. So don't get ready to argue the word, theologian. The word still stands true. Every letter of it. But you have to see and pray for the wisdom, the discernment, the knowledge and understanding of God. How do I apply this word to my life in this day, in this time, in this season? What is it for me? So I'm seeing God move in my life in one area, in a certain area here, certain area here. I will watch God move in somebody else's life in another area. But not everybody's blessings is the same because God will not put more on us than we can bear. So we are given different blessings at different times based on our growth, maturation in Christ. So depending on where you are will determine what God can put on you in the form of blessings and progression. So never let somebody sit next to you who is not open to receiving the word of God. They're not trying to hear it and they're working against you. Never have an enemy behind the lines. Never sleep with a demon. Never sleep with a devil. Never. That's why the Bible says you got to come out from among them. The Bible says, what are you doing with these people over here who they ain't trying to be reached? They ain't trying to hear none of this here. You wasting your time. Reach those who are open and they ready to come over, but they looking for answers and they just don't have the answers. See, that's why the Bible says many are chosen, but few are called. Everybody can't be converted because where there's good, there will be evil. So some people have chosen what side they want to be on as an adult. And if you read the word, you will see you will be a fool to try to convert everybody. Even Jesus knew as he walked the earth, he couldn't convert everybody. That's why it played out to him being crucified. So you have to understand that if Jesus' purpose was to show you that not everybody can be converted, and some people are going to want to argue you to death. Some people are going to want to see you down, see you hurt, see you bothered, see you broken. You got to know who that is. When God show them to you, know who that is. And then you be a blessing and you be a testimony. You be an example for those you are called to reach. And understand that you will not reach everybody. And my daddy gave me this thing a long time ago. He said, son, I was like, Dad, why can't, Jesus sup with the sinners? He said, yeah, you're right. He had dinner with them. He hang with them every day. He ain't lay down with them. He tried to reach them. He let them see God working in his life, using him. But if they didn't convert, if they didn't change, then God don't force anybody to do right. So don't get out here trying to play God. Let God touch their heart. That's all you could pray is God soften their heart so that I could reach him. He said to me, son, if I give you a clean white suit and you go outside and you go to sitting up against and brushing up against and hugging and rubbing on this boy over here, your friend who got on a dirty, dirty suit. He said, do you think that clean white finna rub off on that dirty suit, or that dirty suit finna rub off on that clean? And basically what he was trying to tell me is that not everybody want to change clothes. Not everybody want to get clean. Not everybody want to be renewed. Because if they want to change, they say, oh, well, let me take my jacket off because it's filthy. So how did you get washed white as snow? Let me take this off. Okay, now what you did? Okay, show me what you did. Oh, okay. Okay, a little water. Okay, a little soap. Okay, scrub it together. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Some people, no, I'm finna keep my dirt. I'm finna keep my sin. And they set their goal out to conquer you. That's why a lot of men and women fall into bed in fornication, sinning against God, because they trying to make love to someone mind who has a spirit in them that refuses to change. And then their goal is to prove to themselves that God is not real by conquering you. They want to prove to themselves that God is not real by conquering you. And so sometimes people come to try me. But I don't step out of character now. But I'm going to read you. Just like Jesus read them. They'll come to Jesus. Jesus say, listen, you go tell that viper I said this. The man was getting ready to do something to Jesus. And the man, he said, I got all the power right now to crush you. Your life is in my hands, and what you got to say for yourself. Jesus said, you have no power other than that which my Father in heaven has given you. Man, say, what? What? You hear me? So that's how I talk to people. I let them know, like, listen, just because I'm a Christian don't mean that you won't get read left to right. I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to sin. But I'm going to let you know with the knowledge of the Lord comes a strong confidence. You're not finna bully me. You're not finna punk me. You're not finna intimidate me. I don't fear nobody but God. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people have Christianity. So they think because you a Christian, you supposed to ride on the bus. Because it's a gospel song that talk about going up the rough side of the mountain. They think because you're a Christian, you're supposed to keep the same car for 20 years because that show humility. That's not humility. That's stupidity. You're going to be on the side of the road pushing your car. So if God gave you wisdom and God gave you the means and God gave you the ability to get in something that's going to get you to point A to B, but God has given you also the ability to get something a little nicer that's going to get you to point A to B, you get the maximum of what God has allowed you to get. And understand that you can't feel bad about that because somebody else is in another walk in their life. Because God know he can't put them in no 2020 or 2021 because they a baby in the Lord, and that's going to have them back in the club trying to show off their new interior. God know he can't give them a promotion yet because that's going to have them back in the casino gambling away their new earnings because they've been struggling with gambling. So what you have to realize is that you can't feel bad about your blessings just because everybody ain't been blessed on the same level. Somebody say, oh, you making investments and people losing their job. So what, I'm supposed to stop living and stop operating in the blessings and preparing my future, preparing my family because somebody lost their job? I don't know what the person who lost their job doing. But I know if they serve the God I serve, they're going to find another job. I know if they serve my God, they're going to be okay. But I'm not finna stop living a blessed life, the life that God has allowed me to live, because somebody in the world or even another Christian. Because that's between them and God. If God say help them, then I'm going to help them. If God say be a blessing, I'm going to be a blessing. So I maybe can't give you no job, but God say do a video on multiple streams of income. Cause I got a child that's watching that video. So you can't pay their way through life because you got a wife and kids, but give them the knowledge. You can't go fish for them and feed them, but teach them how to fish. You see what I'm saying? But I can't say, oh, well, I'm just going to stop building business and I'm just going to stop investing in my future because people are losing their job. And I want to feel the pain of losing a job. I done lost a job. I done been without a job. I done been evicted. But you got to stay the course. I know that they got to stay the course. I'm going to pray for them. Lord, bless them. If I know them personally or if I hear about it, I'm going to pray for them, bless them, because I know it's a lesson in the testing. It's a lesson in the testing. It's a lesson, then comes the blessing. So that's what I know. So listen to me. Stop feeling bad about, because that is the trick of the enemy, to make you feel guilty. To make you feel guilty about the grace and favor and blessings over your life, to whatever extent it may be. It may be that you went from living with somebody else to your own room in a rooming house. It may be you went from a rooming house to your own little apartment in a low income area. It may be you went from that apartment in a low income area to a median income area, and then to a high earning income area. It will be one step at a time, because God ain't gonna move you too fast. Because too much will derail your walk. So God ain't gonna move you too fast. But one thing that the enemy want to do is, the enemy understands that so as a man thinketh that he is. That's the word of the Lord. So the enemy knows that if he could get you to think that you don't deserve the blessings, if you don't deserve favor, if you don't deserve a promotion, if you don't deserve to earn more money, if you don't deserve to be elevated, then he knows that all your blessings will be blocked. Because the Bible says a double-minded man receives nothing from the Lord. See, God can't pour out and bless you unless you believe that you are ready and you are worthy of it. Now, you're going to still get more than what you're worthy for, but you got to say, Lord, thank you for seeing me as worthy. Because you're reading the Bible, when Jesus was doing miracles, he said, according to your faith, be it unto you. According to your faith, be it unto you. He said, because you believe, this is what you can receive. Now, because you over here don't believe, you can't receive. But because you believe, you can receive. So the enemy, the adversary, your haters, the people that's jealous of you, they want you to feel guilty about the promotion that you were offered. And they will come to you and say, you know what, if I was you, I wouldn't even take that promotion, because all they want to do is just keep you a slave to this job. And it's like, oh, here go a promotion. They just want to give you that promotion just so you can't find nothing else. So then you sit there and say, you know what, you got a point. You know what, you got a good point. I'm finna go in there and tell them, thanks, but no thanks. Because I got bigger dreams. I'm not finna get promoted on this job. I'm not gonna accept their promotion. You go in there and tell them that, and then the same demon that told you not to accept your promotion, they go and put their application in. Hey, I heard Tanya turn down the position. Just want to let you know I'm open for it. Went and told the supervisor that. Supervisor called Tanya. So Tanya, call Lindsay and so yeah, LaTanya turned down the position. So do you want the position? Well, I'm trying to remain humble and just be a hard worker. I want everything I get to be earned. I don't want to ask for anything. But, if you want to give it to me, yes, I'm definitely ready. Then come to you. Well, they told me that since you turned it down, they really needed somebody to take it. And I know you have big dreams and that you want to go elsewhere with your dreams. But I started thinking, it's like, I'm stuck here. This is all I have. And, me and my baby daddy just fell out, and it's like, I really need that promotion. Now they go and take the promotion that was for you. You come to work late next week because you had to go and check on your mother or your father who in old age. You come to work late. Now here Lindsay could ignore and understand that why you late. Lindsay go to the supervisor and say, yeah, LaTanya came in late today, and this is the third time in a month. So I was thinking I need to write her up and just wanted to know how you feel. The supervisor say, well, yeah, hey, I put you in that position for a reason. Do what you need to do. Now here come Lindsay. Well, LaTanya, I did not want to do this, but I had to write you up. So you're going to be on probation, and please understand this is nothing personal. You and I, we done had many coffee dates. I done come to your kids' games. You done come to my kids' game. I love you like a sister, but you know how it is in this. And you looking at Lynn like, so now you ready to lose your religion on her. You ready to sit that religion right down. Okay. All right, Lord. I tried to be cordial with the hip purse, but something got to take these glasses off. Okay. Put this hair in this ponytail. So what you saying again now, Lindsay? So do you want to meet outside? You getting ready to lose your religion over Lindsay because you let her talk you out your blessing. That's how the adversary works. I remember the Lord was trying to elevate me, trying to do more for me, and I was trying to take everybody with me. So now I done blessed the people right in my circle. Now I'm finna do like this. If they can't see the way that I live for God and serve God and understand that's the reason for my blessings and get in line with God and get their heart right with God so God can move in their life, then that's on them. I'm no longer feeling sorry for nobody. I ain't feeling sorry for no grown people who got the word right in their face, but they choose the closing and go on about their business. I'm no longer feeling sorry for them. Hey, you have to make a choice. And the Bible talks to you about that when you trying to reach this person, and they just keep just ignoring, nope. The Bible tell you don't argue with no fool. The Bible tell you stop chasing a fool. Read the book of Proverbs. You're going to see what I'm talking about. Read the book of Proverbs. And so guess what? It come a point where you got to flee. Because the devil is not this man in a red suit with horns walking around. He using the people right in your circle. The Bible say resist the devil and he will flee. When it say resist the devil, he could be talking about resisting the person sitting right next to you that the devil using. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand this. But see, it's so many Christians who have been trapped in this mindset of struggle and trapped in this mindset of allowing people to use you and take advantage of you and abuse you and mistreat you and manipulate you and deceive you. The word discernment would not exist if God intended for you to be deceived by the devil using somebody right next to you every day. It would not exist. But so people get so self-righteous. Oh, Tony, that is not right. We are supposed to love. Did I say you're not supposed to love? Did go back and listen. Is there anywhere I say you're not supposed to love? But did you read in the Bible where God say spare the rod, spoil the child? Well, God say he chastises those he loves. Do you understand that sometimes love means tough love? Sometimes love means you got to let go so they can grow. Love don't mean enabling a person, crippling a person by crippling them so you could carry them. And they dragging you down. You need to don't misunderstand what love means. Yes, you go the extra mile. You walk 2 miles, they need you to go 1. Yes, you give them your shirt. But guess what? You give them your shirt and you tell them how you made your shirt, how you got your shirt. You help them and you show them. But don't keep giving them your shirt. Now, once God done revealed to you that you giving them your shirt, they going taking your shirt to the marketplace that you work hard, paid for, and earn. They taking your shirt to the marketplace and selling it for pennies on the dollar. Now you's a fool. See, don't let your self-righteousness turn you into a fool. Don't let what you think is turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek. See, listen, if you hit me on this cheek and I turn the other cheek, and you hit me on that cheek, and then you hit me on this cheek, and I'm forgiving. See, turning the other cheek could mean got to go. You see what I'm saying? Turning the other cheek don't mean come and get beat down every single day. It means instead of you standing there and wallowing in the mud with the devil, turn your other cheek and go on about your business. Resist the devil and he will flee. Move on with your life when you are given the discernment to understand that this person is not, I am not authorized to cast out this type of demon. Somebody else demon to deal with. Let me pray for them, but let me remove myself from this situation and say, Lord, I'm removing myself so you could step in. See, you got to understand what God's saying to you, because there will be a season where you suffer the wrong. There will be a season where you suffer the wrong. That's where the term come from, where you suffer the wrong and you suffer long. There will be a season, but that's why you pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But then there will be a season where God says, okay, your work here is done. You've done everything you can do to help this person. And now they're using you. So I need you to get out the way so that I can reach them. Because what they're getting ready to go through next in life, I won't let it kill them. But they're going to hit rock bottom so hard that their ears going to be wide open. And then I can reach them. Because they're taking advantage of you. The grace is being taken for granted. And when the grace is taken for granted, access is denied. The grace will no longer be granted until there is a humility and there is a respect and a reverence for the grace and mercy that God pours out of our life. If you continue to take the grace for granted, you will be excommunicated. See, the Bible says God will not be mocked. You cannot play God like no fiddle. You can't trick and deceive God. He's all knowing. So when your heart is hardened to God, God will turn his back on you just like he did the children of Israel, so that you could then see the error of your ways. And then when you call him with a repentant heart, that's when God can come in. Knock, knock. I'm here. But you got to open the door. So as you read the Bible, you'll see it's times where God had to turn his back. Where God had to burn Sodom and Gomorrah. Where he had to send the floods. Where God had to send the plagues over the land. Where God had to turn his back on the children of Israel. Where he had to flee from the face of all this sin and fornication and idolatry. Until they called out with a repentant heart. And then he can come and heal the land. When you meditate on his word and you repent and you call on God, then he comes and heals the land. But God will not be mocked. You won't play him like no fool. You can't play God because he's all knowing. And so that's what I want y'all to understand is, and this is an all-inclusive word. We touched on a lot of different things. You have to break this down. You might have to listen to this on your commute to work, to and fro. See, when I grew up, the only book I read was the Holy Bible. That's why I say stuff like to and fro. That's the only book I read growing up, is the Holy Bible. My dad made me read a chapter of the Bible and then write a summary. That's why I taught in parables. That's why I share stories. But you notice Jesus taught in parables. That's why I'm always doing skits, because I learned that from Jesus. I just make it relevant for today. A lot of y'all miss that, but I just point that out to you. That's why I teach the way I teach, because I grew up reading the Bible. That's the only book that I've ever really read and studied. So people say, Tony, what books are you reading? I'm not reading any books. I'm hearing from God. I'm hearing from God. People say, oh, that's not leaders are readers. Readers are leaders. Well, do it look like I'm leading? I'm here to tell you I'm not reading. So obviously that don't apply to everybody when God in the midst. See, God gonna do what man don't understand. That's what man told you. But God said, I got people serving me who illiterate. They can't read. God said, I got people serving me who deaf. They can't listen to an audio book. God say, I can do anything and I could use anybody. God don't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So don't prescribe your theology on everybody. So when somebody doing the work of the Lord, so they call it, and I don't understand it, I can't speak to it. But if they in right standing, I'm going to see the grace, favor, mercy, and blessings. If they in wrong standing, I'm going to see the wrath of God eventually on their life. So I just sit back and let God do what he does without judging what they so-called call the work of the Lord. Because where God is in the midst, you're going to see blessings in whatever form that those blessings need to take in order for you to understand. So sometimes people ask me, well, Tony, why you mention what kind of cars you got, or what kind of house you got, or what you do for your wife, or what you do this? Because some people, some people like the men, they don't want to have no parts of God if they think it's just broke, busted, and disgusted. Because men looking at how they going to provide. A young man, he told me, he said, Tony, I need to see your blessings. He said, I need to know that you drive what you drive and that you live how you live, because I want to know that it's good over there. That it's good over there. That I don't have to go sell drugs. I don't have to go be a rapper. Or I don't have to go, scam and fraud. Or I don't have to go, get in multi-level marketing. That I could be a life coach. That I could be an author. That I could work in my purpose, but still have a good life, because I want to have a good life. I got a dream car I want to drive, but I want to know that you could do right by God and live right and serve God and still get blessings, still get the desires of your heart. That's the Holy Bible. So for those of y'all that's broke, busted, and disgusted mentally, and that you want to see every Christian so struggling, and that you feel like if a Christian share their blessings, they financial blessings, they material blessings, they physical blessings, they emotional blessings, they spirit, that they bragging. If that's how you feel, that's a demonic spirit in your heart. Because real recognize real. If you truly walking with the Lord, you happy to see. And God give you the wisdom to understand discernment on, is this person bragging or is this a praise report? And just because a person don't deliver it the way you want it to be delivered, God will give you the wisdom to understand that's just how they deliver it. God will give you the wisdom to understand that if this person was arrogant, if this person wasn't humble, they wouldn't be giving you an hour of their time every day, because it ain't enough money worth it. If this person wasn't humble, they'll have advertisements on every video. They wouldn't dedicate a video on Sunday with no advertisements. I'm using myself as an example, but you got to look in your life and apply it to your life. If this person who drive this Mercedes Benz and they went from riding on the bus was arrogant, they wouldn't be wasting their gas money and putting miles on their new car to come pick you up to take you to work if they was braggadocious and was arrogant. So you got to look at what's offending you and really process, why is this person being elevated and being blessed in the kingdom making me mad and offending me? That's a question you got to answer for yourself. Because until you can learn how to be happy for the children of God, for the other people, you'll never get the desires of your heart, because you can't receive like that. So you're going to hear me say the same type of thing over and over and over, and it's going to be mixed in with, and what I want you to understand, don't ever focus on the wrong things. What I'm telling you is to live for God, to live with God, and to do the right thing, to live a righteous lifestyle. And what is for you will be added unto you. Don't ever think that I'm talking a prosperity gospel, or I'm just talking about material stuff, and forget where I talked about God doing a miracle in your body, healing you of your sickness. Don't focus on your insecurities, the things that ring loud because you lacking in that area, and ignore the other things that was touched on because you may be fine in that area. Hear the whole message in its entirety. And understand that with every word, every sentence you hear, your mind goes somewhere. So you may need to listen to the same message 3 times, and you're going to hear something different every time. And you're going to realize, okay, that's why I was offended. Because that spoke to what I lack. That spoke to my insecurity. That spoke to my fears. That triggered my fears. It triggered my insecurity. It triggered my scarcity mindset. It triggered my mindset of lack. It triggered my trauma bond. It triggered that, and that's why I was offended. Because when God gives you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you have discretion, you could tell when somebody is trying to help you. You could tell when somebody trying to reach you out of love, or when somebody have what they trying to call today toxic positivity. And there is such a thing, but you got to make sure your insecurity is not confusing the two. Make sure your insecurity is not calling tough love toxic positivity. Make sure your insecurity is not calling a direct lesson with toxic positivity. Make sure your insecurity does not label everything that convicts your spirit, everything that steps on your toes, as toxic positivity. Make sure of that. It is Tony Gaston. God bless you. I got on here and I say I'm finna be on here 10 minutes. I'm gonna do a quick 10-minute Sunday sermon, go on about my business, and look where we at. I said, but I got to go to the Lord. Stop going. My family, little dog. I hear thing. Hey, Bella. My little dog. She. I don't know. She probably what she is now. But she going 11, 12 months now. Hey, God bless y'all. We'll talk soon.